Hey everybody, this is Black Diamond from the Crew Network, and you're listening to Basic Black After Dark podcast. And you know that this is the show that meets you where you are and gives you what you ask for. Tonight, we are joined by returning author Nicole S. Brown, and she's here to discuss her latest book, Yes, I'm Still in Love with Him. Nicole is known for her captivating works, including Wet Dreams, Wetter Dreams, and School Days, Holidays, and All the Days That Lie Between. Say that a couple of times and see how you feel. We'll dive into her creative process, ask her what inspired her newest release, and explore how her writing has evolved over the years. Nicole, how do you balance the vulnerability in your stories with the bold themes your readers love? And what's been the most challenging part of crafting your latest book?
The most challenging part about crafting a book is trying to get it out in a certain length of time because I was also working online and I wanted it out on specific days, that were meaningful, that have a certain meaning to me. So that's that was hard for me to get it out on certain days. And as far as the creative process, um, I really wrote from my heart, how I was really feeling about that particular situation.
Well, you know we're going to talk about that particular situation because this book is like a follow up. This book is like a follow up to the follow up, right? I guess. So
Yeah.
we're getting ready on engaging conversation. So stay tuned and we're going to dive in. We're going to dive directly in. We're not going to go through all that regular stuff that we usually do. And I said, I've been so comfortable with Nicole. She started, just basically started my year. We started off this year with Nicole doing a mini series. So I don't know how many of you seen her mini series, but if you haven't, check it out because it'll explain a lot about tonight's conversations. You know I've been following you, Nicole. Tell me what inspired this title. Yes, I'm still in love with you. And I got an idea, but I'm gonna let you say it. Yes, I'm still in love with you.
Well, it's hard. Really been hard for me to fall out of love with somebody, even though I'm not with the person anymore. And I have a little article in there saying how to stop loving someone. and I'm just it was just the book is talking about having a hard time, even though I'm not with the person anymore. You still have feelings.
You can't just turn your feelings off and on, so that's for sure. But the last time we spoke, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were more like adamant. Nope, it is over, it is done. But you're saying that you're still in love with him. What about him from the last time we spoke makes you feel that you're still in love with him like it has just never stopped?
I don't think it ever stopped. I got mad at a lot of situations that I never did tell that person about, and that took over me because I was with the person for such a long time, and I never, wanted to make that person angry, and I just held in a
Mm.
lot of stuff that that person did bad, and then I just blew up on the person, but I was still having the feelings.
Oh, wow. So for this book, how did you develop the characters in this book? Now I know again you're saying yes, I'm still in love with you, but are there other characters added to this book? Other people that you incorporated into this book?
Well, it's just really talking about how I feel. So it's more so me than anything else. Because I really don't have a lot of other characters other than how I felt about that person.
So it's
I
like a
was just,
personal
it's just
journey.
right.
Oh, okay. All right. Were there themes or messages that you hope readers could take away from this story?
Yeah, that maybe they could fall in love with somebody all over again, or that they can put things aside of the conflicts that they had and reconcile or just even become friends with the person again.
Well, I'm going to say this. If you had to do this all over again with the relationship with this person, would you?
Yeah, and I would do much different than I did before.
What would be so different?
Uh, I would let my feelings out more than I did in the past.
So, do you think that your feelings is what caused this relationship to demise? Or do you think it was because of the type of relationship it was?
I think it was because of the type of relationship it was.
Wow. So, can you share any of your favorite scenes or moments from this book? Better yet, I'm going to take that back. Share one of your favorite moments with this person. What's a
Mm,
favorite moment that you shared?
just hanging out, just hanging out, chilling out, being ourselves, clowning, having lunch, that kind of stuff.
So, it sounds like you two had a prior relationship than that relationship that you had.
Right.
It, yeah, for those who, again, just coming in or either don't know this story, um, Nicole was involved in a relationship that didn't end well, but it didn't begin very well either because there was another party to this relationship. And from what I feel, see, and heard from this, may have been an innocent party, but may not have wound up so innocent in the end with the things that were happening
Right.
within this relationship. So I don't excuse the behaviors of some of the people that was involved because everybody played a certain type of role. And I'm not one that's going to sit and tell somebody how they should live and how they should not live. But there's consequences for people's actions. And sometimes innocent bystanders get hurt when people start acting out their emotions and not checking their emotions first. What in this book was there a particular chapter that was especially difficult to write? Because again, your title is I'm still, and yes, I'm still in love with him or still in
Well,
love with you.
it's a portion of the book that's called Swimming in the Denial River.
So what do you mean by that? 'Cause, because I'm going to ask you these questions. What do you mean by that? That you're swimming in the denial river? Because we're going to get deep right about now. What do you mean by swimming in the denial river? Explain that to me.
Because, even though I claim not to be in love with the person, I always talked about the person. So, people would tell me that I was swimming in the denial river, that I still wanted that person back.
Do you really think that you were in denial?
Uh huh.
You really think that you were in denial? But I don't want you to take it where it was only you. You hear that old saying that two can play that game. Well, there was three actually that became a part of this
Right.
because once the other individual learned of the relationship, I understand people get angry. I understand people get upset. People are disappointed and people are hurt. But to carry it out in the way that the other person may have carried it out could have been a little bit dangerous for a lot of people. And I'm glad nobody was, well, I hope nobody was physically hurt with this, but emotions and feelings can sometimes take over enough to where they would feel or assume that they were physically hurt because their feelings was hurt. And a feeling is a part of your physical part of you.
That's true.
How do you approach, well, I'm hoping that they're listening because this is not just going out to you, it's going out to them too because they played a part in all of this. And several people were hurt. You got friends and family that loved you all, that was probably surprised by a lot of this, and was hurt by a lot of this. And I'm gonna say it. The three of you need to take accountability for the parts and the roles that you played. And I'm quite sure somebody is saying she don't know what she's talking about. I know I may not know you exactly, and I'm only going by what I'm hearing, so I can't fault you or anything. But it takes more than just two people to have an entanglement at times. And it got a little messy. And it didn't turn out well for anyone because, from what I'm hearing, and I can only go by what I'm hearing, nobody turned out being a winner. Everybody in this situation suffered in some way, even the bystanders suffered in some way with this situation. But I want to talk more about your writing process. How did you approach this writing process? And do you follow a strict routine or write when inspiration strikes? Because you've got so many books based around this, and it seems like you strike when something happens, and you turn out these wonderful books. So are these books your, what's been going on, your inspiration to write these particular books?
Yeah, what's been going on? Yeah.
Well, suffice to say, it's a lot that seems to be going on because you got wet dreams, wetter dreams. See, I'm gonna sit here and name them as much as I can. You have this one here, and you said that they were a part of a series.
Right.
Name the books that's a part of this series so people can catch on to, and
Okay.
they can go out and purchase it so they can follow your journey.
Okay. Yes, I'm still in love with you as part of a series too, because the first one in the series is Who Do You Love? And then the second one is Are You Still in Love with Who? And then Yes, I'm still in love with you. And then I
Um,
have All About Slime, The Refusal to Return to Slime, The Diminishing of Slime, and one more coming out soon, Slime Erase Without a Trace.
wow.
And I have my education books, which are School Days, Holidays, and All Days that Lie Between, More School Days, Holidays, and All Days that Lie Between, and many more school days, holidays, and all days that lie between. And then I got my book that my mama hates, Wet Dreams and Wetter Dreams. She was like, I, I don't know why you put that out there.
Sometimes you go with your gut, sometimes you go with your feelings. But I've been telling you prior to us coming on air that I'm trying to rearrange my office, but I got a feeling I'm gonna have to take one of these bookcases and just take all of your collections and put it up there. And I'm gonna be going through them one by one because you have several books out, and it sounds like some journey that
Yeah,
you have been on.
yeah.
What is the most significant lesson that you've learned as an author over the years?
I learned that you have to keep on trucking with your writing process, and you might lose people, and in the process you're gonna gain people. And you should never give up on what you believe in, your talent, your craft, because it may take a while for you, to accomplish things from it.
Yeah, sometimes it's a journey. Hey, Patrice. Hey, Shanette. Thank you both for joining us tonight. I think you guys been a part of this journey as well, um, with Nicole. So, how has your writing style evolved since your first book in the series, Wet Dreams? Because I've seen a difference. I've seen a difference in your tone. I've seen a difference in your demeanor, and this is outside of your writing. Um, when we first spoke about your situation or the situation in your books, you were in here. But now you seem to have brought it down and you're just mellowed out. What has
Well,
happened towards that change?
well, I guess it's different, really different sides of me or whatever. Um, and I kind of convey it with the different types of books. Cause with Wet Dreams, I pretty much was out there, and Wetter Dreams too. But I can mellow myself down when it comes to love and all of that in education. So it's different sides of me. But a lot of people want to hear the Wet Dream stuff from me more than anything else.
And they're wanting to hear that without other people knowing that they want to hear it. And there's nothing wrong with people getting in touch with other sides of themselves. They do it on the down low, and that's their thing. If that's their thing, hey, who's to stop them and who's to say that you're wrong? Stuff is out there. People want to know. You know, how have readers responded to your previous work, and how has their feedback influenced your writing?
Well, I've kind of gotten a lot of 5-star reviews from all of my books,
That's
but
great.
the one that's most popular is Wet Dreams, and I you kind of
I can
can
understand
realize.
why. If you haven't gotten that book, go get it. It's Christmas time. Give it to him after Christmas because that's Jesus' birthday. So let's move that book just a little bit to the right after his birthday. Okay, I'm not telling you not to buy the book, but you can buy the book. Hold off on reading it. Wait till after Jesus' birthday, because then you can do your Hail Marys and everything else, and you can enjoy his birth. But I think that's something that you should do after, because you got a whole year. And I'm not saying that's a sin. I'm just saying that you give him a break that day from that book, and then get to it. How do you handle How do you handle criticism, whether from readers or editors?
Well, I handle it well because I everybody is not gonna be for different types of writing that I have. Some people may not like Wet Dreams, and some people might like the education books. So I try to take it in stride, and maybe that didn't fit. If they didn't give me such a great review, maybe that didn't fit for them. So I have something for everybody.
Let me tell you, every book isn't for everybody, and everybody is not for every book. Some people pick up a book and they judge it by its cover. Ooh, this book is going to be a good book. I'm going to read. They get halfway through and like, why did I pick up that book?
Yeah.
Have you heard from anyone personal, meaning not just a fan, like somebody up close and up front, to you to discuss your book with you?
Oh
And it's
yeah.
not a family member.
My sister, she
How
really
did
didn't
that
like
go?
Wet Dreams. My sister didn't really like Wet Dreams. She was like, "Why did you put that out?" And she said, "It's all out there. You didn't use any language. You didn't use no what do you call it? You went to school. You know what I'm talking about." I said, "Figurative language. You didn't use any figurative language." And I said, "Well, um, I wanted it to be that way because of what had happened, you know." So
Yeah.
I use figurative language in a lot of figurative language in some of my other books, and then I said it's a couple of poems in there too that you really have to think about what's going on. So I did use some figurative language. And then another guy that I went to high school with, he kept asking me. He got a hold of the book. I don't even know how he got a hold of the book, but he kept asking me. He rang my doorbell at my mom's house, and he kept asking me, "Was that you in the book? Was that you in the book? You were so quiet at
Wow.
school. You were. We didn't approach you in that manner. If it's so, here go my phone number."
Oh, you got to be kind of careful there because he knows where you live and he may have other things on his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
But
got to be really, really mindful and careful.
a lot of people from high school is like, I can't believe she wrote this because she was so nice. She was so quiet. She was so sweet.
Well, that was high school and this is now. Look at the years that it went past, and your experience is different. I'm quite
Right,
sure theirs is too. They may go to church on Sunday, but by Monday, you may need to pick them up off the ground.
right,
So, being back in high school, we all were different. The way we
right,
spoke, who we were around, and the way we behaved.
right,
For those who haven't changed, then those are the ones who haven't evolved.
right.
So if you could collaborate with any author, who would it be and why?
Dead
I'm
or
just kidding.
alive.
Hey, well, that's your choice.
Maya Angelou.
Oh wow.
We're both from the South and came from small towns and went through a lot.
Yeah, I've read her story, and from what I've read, she has been through a lot, but she made the best of it, and she
Right,
made the best of who she was, and
right,
that respect came right along with it.
right,
When you look at someone with her caliber, and you hear the stuff that she's been through, and the choices that she made, many overlook some of those things because that respect is there. The minute she walks through the room, you get quiet. It's
right,
almost like Auntie so and so is in here. Be quiet, sit up straight, don't move. And it's just the way she holds herself and carries herself. But she told you about her past. She told us about her past. And
yeah.
she told us about the choices that she made, whether she had to make them or whether she wanted to make them. And for you to say that that's a person that you look up to, I applaud you because she was a great woman. What do you do to recharge or overcome writer's block? Because I often wonder when people say writer's block, is that really such a thing? Now I've experienced writing, but I don't know what I would call it a writer's block. There's times where I put the pen down and just wouldn't pick it back up for weeks at a time, and sometimes months.
Yeah.
But they
So
call it writer's block.
sometimes I don't. I go for a couple of days or weeks without writing, but I don't consider it writer's block. I consider it a big brainstorm because
Mm,
things are going on and you're watching and it may not download until you get to sitting down or feeling it. That's how I feel about it. And when I can't really write something down and I have to write something down, I'll go outside or listen to some music or um, play with my kids or do something like this so that it can come out. Because a lot of people ask me to write different things for people funeral programs or
wow.
poems and stuff like that. And sometimes I could get it right away and sometimes I can't. And my mom would be like, why you can't write it? I was like, it don't come that easy, mama. It doesn't come that easy. And sometimes, the church wants me to write, Christmas plays and stuff like that. And it doesn't come that easy because you have to know who you're writing for.
Yeah. You have your way of writing, you have your style of writing, and you know what you're most comfortable with. Now, Shanette has an emoji here with tears in its eyes, and I don't have on my glasses, so I don't know whether she's cracking up or whether she's crying. But her
Oh,
next statement is something you said, and it was exactly. So she knows exactly what you're talking about.
and
Are there
then
any golden? Go ahead.
yeah, and then people want to rush you when you're in the creative process, and they were like, "This enough," and I'm like, "No, it's not enough because I'm not through." You know,
Yeah, exactly. It's your book. You know when you want to end it, you know when you want to, when you want to end it, you know how you want to end it. And you
right?
know how you're feeling when you're coming to that end part. Are there any golden nuggets or personal touches hidden in your books that fans might not have noticed?
Well, a lot of them I get from listening to love songs, or you know, they may not. They may come from some of the words of the love song, or they may be my own interpretation of it.
Nicely said. So, what are you currently reading, and how does it inspire your own writing? Because a lot of people don't believe that because we're writers and we're authors that we don't read other books. Well, I'm going to
Well,
tell you right now, I
I'm reading the
don't all the
Bible. I read the Bible every day,
time.
and it's another book that I'm reading. My what is it's a Cinderella's book. My boyfriend's no my husband's girlfriend.
I'm going to have to get in touch with that author. My husband's girlfriend.
Hmm.
Different. She may be on the same wavelength with you too. Sometimes authors they find other authors that they they have something in common with their writing. If one of your books were adapted into a movie, which one would it be, and who would you cast as the lead character? Now I cleared my throat earlier on the collaboration, but I ain't clearing my throat for this.
um,
If one of your books were adapted into a movie, which one would it be, and who would you
I
cast
think
as the lead?
I think the love series, Who Do You Love? Are You Still in Love with Who? And Yes, I'm Still in Love with You. And I think I would pick somebody like Jill Scott.
Oh wow, why Jill Scott?
Cause she flows well. And then she's a singer too. And the a lot of the poems in there start off with pieces of love songs.
Oh, she's definitely a beauty. She's definitely a singer. How would you approach her just to even ask her about?
I don't know. I
Well,
never thought of that. I don't
here's
know.
the opportunity. Hopefully, she's watching tonight, or somebody she knows that's watching tonight. Here's your opportunity. Get on there. Look, Miss Scott, I am the author of, and I love to have you. You do your thing, because this might be a shop, and you never know. Because you don't swipe up. I might swipe up for something I'm doing.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to put that out there. Don't be afraid to feel comfortable enough to reach somebody that you may think is unreachable because they may just be reachable. They may say, you know what? I like that book. I like what it's about. I would love to play that role because there might be a role that she may have never thought about playing.
Yeah.
So, what's next for you? Yes, I'm still in love with you.
What's next for me? I'm working on Slimy Race Without a Trace. And that's gonna be a
Say it
fourth
again.
book. Slime Erase Without a Trace. That's gonna be a fourth book in the All About Slime series. In fact, the
Oh,
latest book in that series, which is the Diminishing of Slime, was in the book festival this summer, and I didn't even find out until September the 24th. It was in a
okay.
book festival.
Let me ask you. You said some erase without a trace. A lot of your titles of your book, I get, and they meant a lot with certain situations. Now, this one here, you talking about some erase without a trace. That sounds like getting rid of somebody,
Slime
or maybe
Erase.
getting rid of. Oh,
I was
slime.
in a
Okay, just wanted to clear
slime
it up.
erase.
No, I just wanted to clear it up, so I ain't got to worry about listening to the news and somebody just disappeared altogether.
Uh-uh.
So you said
It's a
slime
sticky
erase. Okay.
situation and it's finally cleaning up.
Oh, okay. Does this have to do with your current situation, or is it
Yeah.
something that's?
It's
Oh,
finally cleaning up. I didn't
well, that's
even
good
think
to
that I
know.
was gonna write a fourth book to the series. But things kept happening, so I kept having to write.
So, do you have plans to revisit characters or themes from your earlier books?
Yeah, if it boils down to that, but I don't think um I'm not really sure, of how my situation is getting better, but I don't know what's gonna happen next. So, and a lot of these are based on true stories, and then some of them are not. So I just have to. I guess I write from my heart, so I have to feel it.
It sounds like an adjustment. Question. Now we spoke about this, and I've asked you this question before. If there was a chance of you two getting back together, would you take that chance?
I probably
And what
would.
would have to change? What would have to change, if anything at all?
Um, Me explaining about how I feel about certain things, telling that person whether or not I'm mad at something, because I didn't do that.
Now, what I'm hearing is that you're taking a lot of accountability for things that happen in that relationship. Do you think that he's taking accountability for the things that may have happened in this relationship?
I don't think so. But and
So
then
you,
part of me thinks he did is because a lot of stuff that I said he let go. He didn't really retaliate, and I
and that's
said some
because of the things
bad
you said that you believe you said that it was some bad stuff. You may have done some bad stuff, and I kind of know what the bad stuff is, and I don't want to mention it on the air because I don't want to get shut down. But what about some of the bad stuff that he did, and the people that he did it to?
I believe that was wrong, and I believe God is a second chance God, and you know, not only was that person my lover, they were my best friend too. So, um, even if we ain't nothing but friends, I'll accept that.
Well, I don't want you to sell yourself short for him. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Maybe you're listening, but I don't want you to sell yourself short for him or any other man because they're not worth selling yourself short for or letting them get in too deep to change who you are. Because from what I've seen within this last year, I've seen a lot of growth within you. So don't let anyone change that or take that away from you. Okay? Because you've come a long way. You've gotten back to your family. You started making yourself whole again. Look at how your little boy is responding now. Look at how the relationship is blossoming with you and your daughter. And look at what you're doing. Your books are in places that you may not have thought that they would be in. People are contacting you, and you're doing more books. And you remember that he was one person that you said put your book out there without your knowledge. So there's that underlying stuff that's still going on. And like I had mentioned before, he may not have evolved yet, and he may not be ready. He may not know, or he may not have ever been shown. But it seems as though you're moving at a steady pace. And that's a pace that you seem to be comfortable with because you seem to be doing such a wonderful job. And I'm very proud of you because I'm going to be honest, in the beginning, you were a little all over the place. But it's this calm demeanor that you have. You may have some stuff up your sleeve. Now, I just don't know what it is, but I'll find out. Where can readers connect with you and keep up with your work?
Well, I'm on a lot of social media platforms as author Nicole Les Brown. That's on Twitter, which is now X, on TikTok, Instagram, and I'm on Facebook as Nicole Sharon Brown. And I also have a fan page, Outstanding Poet and Author Nicole S. Brown, that's on Facebook. And I'm on LinkedIn as Author Nicole S. Brown.
Okay, you've gotten it all. Annette sent something out to you and said, yes, she does. She would be perfect. And I believe she may be talking about Jill Scott
Hmm.
when we're discussing Jill Scott, but take that shot. You never know. But I, again, and as always, and I'm going to tell everybody, we had someone else that was scheduled to appear tonight, but they fell under the weather. And as always, I always can reach out to my girl here. She's always had my back. She always got something to say. She got new books coming out, and we may be absent from each other for maybe weeks at a time, but there's always something going on with Nicole S. Brown. And I want to thank you, Nicole, for joining us tonight and for sharing your next book. Yes, I am still in love with you. There ain't nothing wrong with still being in love with somebody. Just be careful and be mindful about the steps that you take. Now, by now, I'd be inviting you to join me for my next show. But as we wrap up the year, we here at the Crew Podcast Network and Basic Black After Dark want to extend a special invitation to you. Join us on December 31st at 8 p.m. for one unforgettable evening of real talk, podcast highlights, and so much more. I'm gonna have all my girls with me. We're gonna be all together that night. All my podcast sisters. And you're gonna, if you haven't met her yet, you're gonna meet our producer, Angela Thomas Smith. So let's close out this year together in style. Well, we can't help but close it out in style because that's who we are with the Crew Podcast Network. So don't miss it. Thank you, everybody, for taking this journey with me. Hopefully, no, I take that back. I'm going to see you next year, 2025. I got some good stuff coming up, but I'm not going to let it out yet. But keep watching because I'm going to start letting out those little pieces. Hang on to them, put them together, and you're going to see what I'm going to be all about next year because I'm just going to be about all of that. Thank you guys for having me in your living room, your bed. Well, I ain't gonna say your bedroom because you could be married. I ain't gonna say your bedroom. I'm gonna try to stay away from that a little bit. But thank you for having me in your company, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate you all. Good night, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thank you again for joining us. Appreciate you all.